So interesting channel here. It's the Biracial Nationalist Movement, 1098. But yeah, interesting. Biracial nationalist movement, nationalist. And interesting, I should say that. But he put a comment on my video on my main channel, Mulatto Vanguard channel, under my Mulatto Community Goals video, which I appreciate the man's comment. I appreciate all of your guys' comments as long as you're not being negative or nasty or something like that. Because that's the whole point, especially with that video. The whole point was to get the public to get engaged and, provide some input and to add. I even specified that in the video. Could we modify something or something we can add, But interesting, the guy who put this comment, he has nothing. He's not presenting anything as far as the goals of the collective. For him, it's all about semantics. It's the word he has an issue with. And that's a red flag that goes off in my head automatically. When you have a mulatto who doesn't embrace the word mulatto, but they just want these other kind of ambiguous, innocuous terms like mixed race, which means nothing, because that's essentially mulatto erasure at this point. You say you're biracial, you're mixed race, it means nothing, right? So then when I see a mulatto who would rather call themselves mixed race, they don't like the word mulatto, for me, it's a red flag, okay? But let's check out this comment here. Biracial Nationalist Movement puts, all well and good, but as a black, white, mixed race man, I like to see other mixed race people featured. You see that right there? I don't give a damn, okay? Other mixed race people, they have their right to stand up for themselves and create their own constitution or code of conduct or goals. Like Wasians, Blasians, Blaxicans, and Chindians, all these other mixed race configurations, they can create their own. Why not? And he puts right here, not just mulattoes. He doesn't understand the whole premise of my social media platforms. I speak for, represent, and advocate for mulattoes unapologetically. My branding is mulatto. And he puts right here, multiracialism should be seen with a wider lens, or we are back to the antebellum mindset and antiquated definitions. Antiquated by who? By him. It's funny because, the word mulatto is reclaimed, and it's the younger people. I'm a millennial, and the Gen Zs, they have reclaimed it as well. So it's the young people of America and the world, for instance, Beatrice Buena, Brazil, one of our allies, advocates, we've reclaimed the word mulatto. We took it back. It's ours. We embrace it. But it's funny, you always run and bump heads with these older folks who don't like the word mulatto. They're like, it's a slave term. I don't like that term. They're calling it antiquated. I find it ironic, though, because it's old people saying that word's old and antiquated when it's the young people who are embracing it. We're drawing inspiration from it, embracing it as meaning something with purpose and destiny. We're reclaiming the history, reclaiming the word, and finding a sense of self and purpose with it. And you have some old folks don't like that. And again, this is in regards to this guy. I'm not saying in general all older folks are like that. I have a lot of mulattoes who are older, mulattas as well, who embrace mulatto. I would say my biggest, supporter would be Flowers Telling Stewart. She's been an advocate for years. And, so it's like, I do run into some people like this guy. He put a comment on my video and I checked out his channel. You see it right here, Biracial Nationalist Movement. And then he had a recent video short. You can see the short right there, where he's basically saying mixed race or mulatto. So, he's having the discussion, and I could tell by the accent. That's the only video, like I said, that I watched on his channel because, he put a comment on one of my videos, or a couple comments now on my last live stream. I was like, who is this guy? I click on his channel. Okay, he's an older fella. I hear the accent, so he's in Europe. I'm guessing the UK based off the accent, but he says mixed race or mulatto. And I watched that clip. And his whole point is the point that a lot of people have made in the past that I've analyzed in the mixed race space. How mixed race is better, but multiracial is better because it includes all the people. You have one guy who was calling himself black a month ago, but now today he calls himself mulatto. And there's a term that they use to hoodwink mulattoes into being inclusive. They use the term golden. right? They say golden. What that does is it includes everybody under this one umbrella. But then you're trying to define the identity. What does that even mean? Well, what does golden even mean? Or they're basing it off their skin tone. So you're a skin tone movement now, essentially. That's the prism they're looking this through, is through a Afrocentric prism, the lens. It's through a black lens when they're basing their whole identity off their skin tone. But they're just a lighter skin, you know? And that's what that whole golden thing is. You know, you're mixed, you're Blasian, you're Blaxican, you're light skin black, you're all these other stuff, but what ties them together is their blackness. See, with embracing mulatto, being mulatto, it's about our heritage, honoring our parents, our ancestry, our heritage, the traditions, being European and African, the fusion of two, which is, yes, biracial, and of course, MGM, which, you know, like I said, the generation, the G and the MGM, the multi-generational mulatto, like when two mulattoes get together, they create a mulatto, period. Like you have even, you can say Lenny Kravitz, Lisa Bonet, they're both biracial. Their child, Zoe Kravitz, she's biracial. Okay. She's, you know, but so the generation thing, it's like, okay, like you're still mulatto, right? No other group, they don't do that. There's no other group has that kind of generational distinction. Why do we, you know, basically adhere to that if other groups don't? You know, we're just mulatto. So that's the whole thing there, like with the whole golden thing. And like what this guy's proposing is kind of the same argument, where let's use something other term versus mulatto. Let's use multiracial or mixed because it's more innocuous, but it's more inclusive, right? They want you to be inclusive, but yet every other group, they have the right to gatekeep. They have the right to practice exclusivity. But with mulattoes, they want us to be inclusive. And when that happens, we get absorbed. Our voices get drowned out by other groups who have larger numbers than us. Like we cannot even protect our own integrity at that point. We open up the gates for everybody to dogpile us and basically invalidate us. And I'm over that. This is why I've always pushed forward with mulatto. Then, of course, the biracial nationalist just put this comment on my last recent live stream. He says, apologies for not joining the chat, because I believe he did join the live stream chat. He did. And I shared the link because I told him, specifically him, I was like, hey, I want you to join the panel. This is your opportunity. The link's in the chat. Join the panel. Let's talk. And then he puts here, but I need to see the faces of everyone else on the chat. Call me picky, but I need to familiarize myself with people's faces. Well, my face is all over my channel. And the other men who are on the panel, their faces were all on on their channels, I should say, rather. So that's why I'm kind of scratching my head. Like, you didn't do any thorough investigation or research. Like, what are you talking about? All the mulatto men who were on the panel, it was me, mulatto activist, 1316 Progress, and then Big Raj. We're all biracial mulatto men. On all of our channels, we're on camera, right? We're all like, so that's why I'm scratching my head. And you are yourself, you're on camera too. Respect that. You at least you have some courage. There's a lot of creators out here that are cowards, you know, unfortunately. But yeah, I mean, so I was just curious why you put this comment. Like, it doesn't make any sense, bro. Like, we're all on camera. We're all real people. We have real arguments, and we're proud mulattoes. So just wanted to make this video here because this falls in line with kind of in-group politics as far as it's not really a response at all. I'll tag the fella so he knows that for certain channels, I want to keep it to certain discussions are more kind of going to be prevalent on certain channels, where my main channel, Mulatto Vanguard, I do the responses, but I also spread awareness to the public. That will be my main hub. And I also challenge the rhetoric from outsiders who want to tarnish the reputation of mulattoes and fight against our identity. That's where I'll do that. And the live streams, and then my Mulatto History channel, we cover history. But with this particular channel, this is more so kind of in-group politics in a public forum, so to speak. But yeah, I want to say this here. The word mulatto has already been reclaimed. We're past that discussion. So you might have just found my channel recently, and you're still going to try to like get me to like, you know, change the terminology. No. Okay, because with the criteria number 1, a part of the 9 criteria, criteria number 1 is name designation. What should we call ourselves? I have already, basically, I'll say this, dominated that discussion. Like we have petitions out here. Women, mulatto women, the women are on board, have petitions where we want mulatto on the census. The word has already been reclaimed. Now, I'm an American. I'm in the United States. I know you're over in Europe, so it might be different. But I have a lot of mulatto supporters and mulattas who are in England and Europe, and they embrace mulatto. So we've already took over that discussion as far as what we should call black, white, biracials, mixed people. Like, we are mulatto. Just you're kind of late to the game or slow to the discussion to where you're not on board reclaiming it, but that's on you. But I'm going to leave this open, guys. Let me know what you think. Interesting conversation.